you Welcome, everybody, to the Noisy Fox stream, where we free our minds. I hope all y'all having a nice day. because my day was so eventful. Oh my gosh, what a day I had. It was a crazy day I had today, but it was pretty interesting. I'm not going to talk about what happened because don't need to say it. But I hope everyone's having a good ass day because we got something to talk about. And I am hearing my mic. Oopsies, gotta turn that off. I hope all you guys have a good ass day. I gotta start off with a little story I have. Again, as you know, I always start off my things with stories. I have an acquaintance that I work with, and he had a girlfriend. Now, he was going out with this girl for a year, 2 years ish. They lived together. And one day she decided to go to a party. She got really drunk. And she was making out with this other guy. And basically he found out. So it was kind of like she cheated on him. And that's why this title of the stream is She Cheated on You. Good. Try doing this. For anyone who's out there going through a heartbreak, I've been through it, okay? You have to look at it a different way. And I'm gonna go deep because how it affected him and what he was going through in that time, yes, it hurts, but you have to understand that all that time you are spending hurt is the best time you should actually be spending trying to improve, because I think we have to understand something, and I want to get into it. But first, I want the people watching the stream, I want you to look at all your past relationships. And if you were in a position where they broke up with you, I'm talking to the men here, and they were female, how did it go? How did it feel? How did it make you feel in terms of what happened? How did you go about it? You need to look at all these things, because what I'm going to tell you right now, or what I'm going to advise, because everything I say is not universally true, everything is based off of my experience. You see, when you go through things like this, when you go through a time when you're heartbroken or whatever, you go through a relationship that was lasting so long and it just ends just like that. And I had a relationship for 5 years before, and it ended because of me. But I also had another relationship where they broke up with me. But that relationship is interesting, but I'm not going to talk about it. So I've gone through heartbreak, and after talking about it a lot with other people who I would call friends, who has gone through similar, and they have come to me about it, I have seen quite a bit of heartbreaks and seen quite a bit of breaking ups. And one thing I noticed that a lot of people that they don't do is they don't ask. One of the best things that can happen to you is actually a heartbreak. One of the best things that can happen to you is getting rejected. One of the best things that can happen to you during this is because when you go through this, you have to realize that there is a reason. And a lot of people, for some reason, what I see is they'll go through that reason and not get clarity. One of the things that you need is clarity. Because what clarity will do is it will help you answer that question why. Because you always have that question why, like, why did this happen to me? And for the men, I know it can be quite heartbreaking, you know, when you go out with a female for so long, and then all of a sudden, you know, some other guy happens to enter the equation. Or you talk to a female and she says no, even though she was your crush for whatever, or whatever people be on, whatever the case may be. What this is actually saying is it's not that there's necessarily something wrong with you. It's a indirect way of basically saying, hey, look, it is time to level up. It is not a time to sit there and be sad, because honestly, you should be doing the complete opposite. If you are in a position where you are getting rejected, or you are in a heartbreak, and the female breaks up with you, men, you need to understand that if you spend all that time being sad, you are spending a whole lot of energy on the past when you can be looking towards the future. All that time you could be spending crying, and all that time you could be spending, why did this happen to me, blah, 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 and whining and complaining, or whatever people may do, or they're during that time being sad. it's honestly useless, because if you spend all that time, instead of being sad, if you spend all that time maybe going to the gym, maybe starting learning a new language, maybe starting trying a new skill, something to improve yourself, you need to understand that this is the best time for you to do this. This is the best time. It's a reminder. It's not necessarily that there's something wrong with you. It's an indirect way of reminding you, hey, it's time to level up. The moment that you face these trials in life, it's a reminder that you should find some way to improve yourself. For the example with my acquaintance who I job with, his girlfriend, they were living together for a very long time. I would consider a year living together for a very long time. It was a little more than that, but a year-ish. And they were really close. And he was working a job, he made more money than her. She was a bartender. He was doing multiple jobs as a manager. I'd say a pretty decent job for someone his age. She was older than him, which was interesting to me, which is actually quite interesting to me, because how you look at it on a value scale, usually it would be the woman who wants to go for the older guy. You don't see much women going for a younger guy, so that was interesting to me. But that told me that there must be something value about it, because she's going down her age. And when I start to get to know this guy, he's actually quite smart. But what the thing was that was going for him was, since she went to a party and she got drunk and she did it with this other guy, he is now in a state of heartbroken. I was telling him, hey, advice, this is actually good. You need to actually use this to propel you to go forward, because all that time you could be spending sad, like I said before, you could be using that time going to the gym. And this is just an example. I'm not actually saying you should go to the gym. It's just a very, very clear example. And whenever I say go to the gym, go down, do push-ups, go do this, it's just an example as to say, basically, you just need to improve yourself. And however you improve yourself, you need to go do it. Because going to the gym, it's an all-around way to say things. I'm not necessarily saying that, but you should. If you're not in shape, you should. You should definitely start building up your physical physique. People neglect the physical physique, and I think it's very important. I think being physically competent is actually very important. And I used to do karate, so that may be biased and it may not be universally true, but I believe it to be actually very important, because when you are physically competent, you start to cancel out all the other types of threats that may be around you. Because if you are physically competent, not everyone wants to be around you in terms of to hurt you. So it can really help you in terms of protecting yourself, in terms of being portraying some sort of image out there. So it's definitely important to be physically competent. And this is why I use this example. So if you are in a position where you are heartbroken or whatever, this happened just yesterday. He texted me at night saying, this is what happened, man. And I'm like, damn, really, that happened? Okay, it's time to let her go. Now you have work to do. And I gave him some things to think about. And I'm saying this for all the people that have gone through this, or all the people that will go through this, or whatever. If anytime you are in a heartbreak or you are in a rejection, you must ask why. Because for the young man nowadays, and I go into so many examples into job, we are without fathers. We don't have role models to look up to. We are taught by social media. We are taught by public school system that wants us to stay slaves. We are taught by a narrative, an agenda that is to make men weaker. And this is by means of the alphabets, the trains. I have to be careful what I say, but I hope you all can put the pieces together. The trains community, and so many other forces that try and make you less than a man of what you are. You have to ask. You must never be scared. And this is what I see people going through. They're scared of the other gender, and you must not be, because it's an opportunity to grow. every time that you encounter female as a guy, especially if you are in a spot where you don't really know how to interact with them, or you're not really skilled with them, or you're not really skilled in talking to them, or you're not really around them much, you have to look at it as, okay, I am here to become better. I am here to learn. What I find that is the female is actually a very great person to gauge you. Like if you ever had a female girlfriend, you will see that she notices things about you, and she indirectly says things to you that point it out to you that you should look at it about yourself. And if you don't take the message, then eventually something might happen, and that may lead to what has happened with my friend. It's these indirect messages that tell you you need to be better. Females are not very direct, they're very indirect. So you have to understand and pick up on the body language. You have to understand and pick up on the subtleties that are portrayed so that you can become better. And there are a lot of them. It can be really anything. And one thing that I find as to why this happens, I remember I had a friend, well, I still am friends. He has had 9 girlfriends. The majority of them cheated on him. And he never asked why. He never asked why this happened. And I'm not sure why, but I learned very early on that asking why will get you so many answers. Y'all don't know. Oh wait, it's on it. Look, I added the new drip. Follow @NoisyFox. Follow @NoisyFox. We everywhere, baby. We Spotify music. We everywhere. We eventually gonna be literally everywhere on the internet. We gonna be everywhere soon. But what I noticed is that when you ask, you get a whole lot of answers. With these answers, you can become better. You have to stop looking at really a relationship as, okay, I'm just in it just to have fun. It's really an experience to become better together. It's an experience for she has to help you become a better man, and it's experience for you to help her become a better woman. I remember when I was in my first relationship, we just taught a whole bunch of stuff to each other. A whole bunch of things. I would ask her things, she would ask me things, and we just learned a whole lot. It's fun being in your first relationship, especially when it's both your guys' first relationship. It's fun. But you got to understand that every relationship that you are in, you have to ask questions if it doesn't go right. If she cheats on you or she ends a relationship, ask why. And this is really what I really wanted to engrave in everyone's mind, because it's important that you ask, and it's not a hard thing to do. It's really not a hard thing to do, because if you get the answer, if you get the clarity, you will be so much better. And apply it. Now, the thing that I notice is that sometimes when you ask, you don't get a necessary direct answer. Sometimes it will, sometimes you won't. So you need to scroll back and look at the messages. You need to scroll back and look at the messages, look at the subtleties, look at how she responded. Why did she respond this way to me in this way? Like, what did I do wrong? Because somewhere down the line, you did something wrong. Somewhere down. It's on both sides. It's on both sides. You guys both did something wrong. It's both your guys' fault. But if you're going through that, you need to be able to look for your faults. You need to be able to look at where you messed up so that you can improve better, because really she was helping you become better for the next person that you meet. It's these relationships that you'll go through. Not everyone's here for a reason. Some are just here for a couple seasons. Where'd that come from? I think it was Medea. People are only here for a season. So sometimes people are just temporary, and you got to realize that. So every time that you are in a relationship, do not cry. Do not sit there and be sad. Do not think, oh, why did she do this? It doesn't matter why she did it in terms of what you're going to think about. It only matters in terms of what you see. So if you go up to her and ask her, you don't have to go up to her, just call her. Hey, why did you do this and that? If you don't get an answer, scroll through, look at the messages, look at where you messed up, because somewhere down the line you messed up, so that you can be better. And you have to understand that you must treat everyone correctly. You must treat everyone with how you want to be treated. You have to treat everyone with grace. You have to treat everyone with no bad intent, because it's very simple. It's very simple to destroy any relationship if you treat anyone badly. It's very simple, and you'll see that I don't have to say that to anybody. So you should already know that you shouldn't just treat anyone badly. Don't lie, don't steal, don't hurt anyone. Just don't do that, and you should be fine. But there are certain subtleties that happen and that she tries to tell you. Again, women are not very direct, they're very indirect. Sometimes you'll see some things and you have to scroll through and you have to see, hey, what can I fix? What can I fix about myself so that I can become better for the next person? Because you're going to meet someone else. You're going to meet someone else. That person was in your life at that time to teach you, hey, this is what's wrong. You can fix it. I'm going to go, but I hope you fix yourself. So the time that you could be spending being sad, you cannot do that, because you have to understand it happened for a reason. It's not to make you think you're a bad person. In fact, you have to understand that every single relationship that you go through, it's on both faults. No one person is at fault. It's on both faults. It takes two to tango. It takes two to make a child. It takes two for everything when it comes to relationships. It's both of you guys' faults. Both of you guys did something to make it break. So you have to look at that. The most important thing that you could do is scroll back and look at the messages. Hey, what did I do wrong? Hey, what did I do this? What could I do better? Hey, Samantha, hey, why did you break up with me? Do something. Hey, Samantha, why did you cheat on me? And don't get mad. You must never get mad. If you are in a position when you see your female cheat on you, you see it right on her. What I would do is, in a situation like that, is I would look at the guy she's with. I would look at her, and I would say to her, oh, I see that you're with someone else, and that's okay. But now I want you to tell me why. What can I do to be better? And that's simply what it's going to be. I'm just going to accept it and move on. I'm going to get my lesson, extract the lesson, and move on. Because you have to understand that when it comes to relationships, it's all about the best. Who's the best man? Who's the top dog? Who's the top alpha? So you have to understand that when you are in a relationship, you are in competition with everyone else. Everyone is trying to get the female you're with. And trust me, if she sees weakness in you, she sees a breakness in you, if she sees any attribute that makes you not seem like the best man that she has, if someone else who's better than you comes in her webcam and shows themselves to her, and is flirty, is charismatic, is charming, it may happen. Which is why you have to always make sure you're competent as possible. It may happen. It's a competitive world out there, y'all. How many times have you ever been in a relationship and someone tries to talk to your girl? I've been in a couple relationships, and every single time I got into a relationship, someone tried to talk to the female I was with, and some tried to do it in front of me in their car, hollering. I remember one time I was in a relationship and I was at the mall. I was like 15, 16, just out of karate. Anyway, we were walking down the street, and these four guys came in this car, and they were like, "Hey, yo, shorty, what's up?" And I looked at her and I said, "Just keep walking. Just keep walking." Literally what I said to her, just keep walking. And she just kept walking, ignored them. And that's a prime example of how you are always in competition with everyone else. And then when I told her just keep walking, and we just kept on moving, she didn't respond to them at all, and they just left. And in that moment, in that moment, I was the only top guy in her vicinity at that moment. See, it's a strange thing that happens with the social hierarchy, and I'm gonna explain it real quick. It's a strange thing that happens, and you guys can validate this anytime in life. You guys can see this all the time. Experiment it with your relationship if you want. If you want. If you are in an area and there's other guys, let's say it's your friends or whatever, or strangers, and it's your girlfriend, you will see the subtle ways in how they try and get with your girl, even though they're right in front of you. Friends may not do this, strangers will. Strangers will try and get with your girl right in front of you. Friends, your real friends, may not. If they're your fake friends, there's a way to tell on that, but we're not going to get into that. But you can literally try this out. You have to understand that when there are other guys present, you don't become the top guy in her world anymore. It's very strange. It's like the hierarchy switches. It's very strange. Say if there is you and there's 3 other guys and it's your girlfriend. Since the female's always looking for the top guy, in actuality, just because you are in a relationship with her, she now subconsciously is like, hold on, there's 3 other potential. Who's the top guy? And the hierarchy changes. Now all of a sudden you're like on reserve and she's looking at all of these other people. He's like, who's better than the man I got right now? This is the honest truth. It's the honest truth. Subconsciously, this is what goes on. It's not a bad thing, but you got to understand that this is the hierarchy. She's constantly looking for the top guy because ultimately they want the top guy for raising their kids. So it makes sense that they're always looking. Now, loyalty and all of that, you have to earn that. I'm sorry, no female is going to be just loyal to you because you want her to be. You have to be such a competent force that says, okay, you know, I can stay with this guy because he's the best one for my kids. And even if it may be someone who's better than you, she will stay because she wants to be loyal to you. Now, this is not a stream about loyalty. It's not about that. It's more of a stream about the hierarchy and heartbreak, what you should do. You know, you should ask. We know that. We covered that. We know that you should go through the messages and see where you messed up so that you can be better and implement it into your life. This is very common advice I'm giving. And you don't have to take it, but it's an alternative instead of sitting there and being sad and depressed. The moment that it happens, okay, boom, I'm perked up. Phone call. What did I do wrong? Okay, cool. Hang up. Now we're grinding. That's it. And then you never talk. Or you can talk, you know, you do you. I personally never burn bridges. But right when it happens, hey, what did I do wrong? Oh, you did this and this wrong. But you could do this and better. Okay, thank you. Bye. Boom, hang up. Next day, I'm in the gym. Next day, I'm in the gym. Next day, next. 30 days down the line, I'm ripped. Then she sees you on Instagram. She's like, oh, wow. Hey, what's going on? I'm like, I'm busy. Because you just leveled up. And now for the next person that you meet, you're going to be much better. They are trying to teach you a lesson. And we must not get mad. We must not get emotional at this. We have to come to an understanding of this. So when you are around other guys, this is why you have to make sure you are always competent. Always. When you are with other guys, it's a good way to test if these guys are your friends too. A way I like how to test people, guys, is if I'm in a relationship, I bring the girl, I bring the female around them. How do they act? Do they banter me? Do they try and talk to her? Or do they try these things? If they don't, they're good friends. Because they know that it's your territory and they don't want to mess with that because they respect you. Friends that respect you are the ones that you want to be around in terms of guys. You want guys around you that respect you. You don't want guys around you who try and talk to your girl behind your back or even in front of you. That's very disrespectful. Or banter you right in front of you around your girl. You don't want that. It's a good way to test your friends. But you must understand that in an area where there are multiple guys, she's subconsciously looking. Who's the top guy? Who's the top guy? Because she wants to know if she made the right choice with her boyfriend. If you are the best guy in her world in that present moment, then it confirms her reasoning. It's like, okay, I got the best guy. But here's the thing. The more and more experiences and the more people you meet, the more and more tests that will go. So let's say if you're around some other friends, if you are not status in terms of status, you are not more competent. Now, this doesn't always happen like this, but this is what goes on. You are in a room with other people who may be more status than you, and they try and talk to your female, you must not let that happen. One, because if you know that they are better than you by status, you should be extra vigilant. Two, because you have to make sure that in her mind, you are still the best decision in her mind. Because you have to understand that when other men come around, there's other decisions being made. Now, I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not. I don't know everything. I don't. I am Noisy Fox, giving you advice, giving you suggestions based on my experiences in life. Axa, hey, what's going on, man? Have you watched Naruto? Oh, yes. Who hasn't? I love Naruto. Naruto was a great documentary. It was a fantastic documentary. But how are you, man? How are you? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. But we really have to understand that it's the best one. And actually, I'm going to use that example, the Naruto example. I don't know if you have a question to ask Axa, but I'll see it. I'm going to use that though. For anyone who's watched Naruto, I'm gonna explain it real quick. Her cheating breaks a bond, which is like Sharingan, getting stronger once bonds are broken. Wow, that's a really good way to put it. I wasn't gonna put it like that, but that's a really good way to put it. Yes, it's like every time you go through some type of break in life or some type of heartache trial, bonds being broken is a hard thing and hard, painful lesson to go through in life. You have to make those moments stronger for you. You have to turn those moments into making you more powerful than ever. She cheated on me. Hey, Samantha, what did I do wrong? How can I fix myself? Well, you can do this. You did this wrong. Okay, thank you. Bye. Right then and there, the next day you're in the gym. 150 push-ups, 150 sit-ups, 150 squats, 150 leg raisers, 150 mountain climbers. Boom, next day, 150, 150, 150, 30 days. Whoa, I'm ripped. I'm jacked now. That's what you need to do. You don't have time to sit there and be sad. It's illogical. So I'm gonna get to that Naruto example. I want to give another example too. Naruto, for those who don't know, it's an anime. Fantastic anime. I call it a documentary. But it was basically about a guy named Naruto. And he had this demon fox inside of him. Planted on him by his dad. And basically it gave him powers when he got really mad. But he basically was bullied a lot because of this from his village. And there was this girl he always liked named Sakura. Sakura never, ever liked him. Never. Why? Well, if you look at the simple psychology and what the body language that they actually use in these animes, you actually should be looking at them because they are very accurate into how people are. Don't look at these for entertainment. Animes are documentaries. We have to understand that. That's why I call it a documentary. Next one I have to watch is One Piece. Because I haven't watched anime in so long because it can be a waste of time. But when I started realizing that these actually have a lot of real world aspects into them, they can be documentaries and they can teach you a lot. But there was this girl named Sakura and she never liked him No matter how hard he tried, she never would go with him. He was a true simp for her. He always was there for her. He let her hit him. he was always like trying to protect her and stuff. But then there was this other guy named Sasuke, and he basically acted like she wasn't there. He acted like the bad boy. He acted like he didn't care. He was sharp with his words. He was handsome. He was all these things that you would look and say, oh my God, that's an alpha male. Okay. What you have to understand is, in her mind, he was the top guy. But then even still, she's still subconsciously looking around who's better than him. Now, the fact that in that scenario, probably she would not have choose anyone else because it was so hard to get him. That scarcity is linked to value. Like if something is scarce, it's very valuable. So if you're a man, and honestly, you guys do you, but you guys can try this. It's training. You're training right now. If you act like you're not there, if you're not as available, you actually become more valuable because scarcity is linked to value. Think of it like gold. Gold is not as present as something like the paper dollar, so its value goes up. Same with silver. Bitcoin, it has value because it's scarce. Those things that are marked with scarcity rises in value. So if you want to try this, you guys do you. I look at everything as training right now. But if you're ever talking to a female, now if there are any females in here, hey, please say something if I'm saying something wrong or if I'm triggering someone. I'm always triggering someone, aren't I? If you act like you're scarce, you'll actually start to notice that you start getting more attention from the other person. You start actually getting chased by the other person. It happens just like how in Sakura and Sasuke. Because Sasuke didn't give a damn about her, he actually became the most valuable man in her world in that present moment. What's interesting, what I realize is that even though there are plenty of guys out there, right? Females are very good at forgetting. Females are very good at forgetting guys. Oh, what's my name? Do you remember my name, Samantha? She'll be like, no, I don't fucking remember your name. They're very good at not remembering because it's so weird how the hierarchy changes. You really don't exist unless you exist right in front of her. So it's like you have to exist more and more times for you to actually become relevant. She's not gonna remember you after seeing you one time. She's just not. Unless you make a very emotional impact, she's just not. She's just not. You're gone. You have to exist in her world. The world that I'm referring to is the one that she can see with her eyes. The men that are around her is the one she's testing. She's not talking about freaking Joseph she met at the mall. Joseph she met at the mall is gone. He does not exist in her mind. In her mind, the only men that exist in the present moment, and this is weird, is the men that she's looking at in front. This is why when you are in a relationship with a female, you have to be extremely competent. You must be, because there is going to be someone, strangers, could be strangers, it could be your friends. This is why you have to bring your girl around your friends. If you do, you'll see who they really are. If they try and banter or they try and talk to her, they don't respect you, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Don't, just get rid of them. They don't respect you, they're not your good friends. But you have to understand that it doesn't matter who they are to you, she is still gauging. And it depends on her loyalty to you. It depends on how much she respects you. It depends on how much she wants to be with you, determines her next move. So in the example with my friend, when he was cheated on by her, she went to a party, there were a ton of guys around. At that moment, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And she was drunk, so it even adds more to this. In that moment, believe it or not, he's at home and she's out in this party, she's drunk. Kind of doesn't exist because she's looking at all these other guys. She's like, okay, who's the best guy? Who's the best guy? Who's the best guy? Who's better than my choice now? Oh, this guy. So she decides to go with this guy and make out with him, probably had sex. I don't know the whole situation. He didn't tell me all of it, but this is why I don't like the term cheating, because I don't think of it as cheating. Like, if a female did that to me, never happened. Never. If a female did that to me, I would find out, blah, 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 blah. I would call her up and be like, okay, well, you know, what did I do wrong? Like, how can I be better as a man? That would be the first question I'd ask her. Oh, I find out you did this. Who's the guy? I would like to see the guy, because he better be fucking better. He better be. Like, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad if I lost to like some freaking guy. I don't even know. Just some random bloke. Like, that would be insulting. Anyway, I would just say, hey, you know, what can I do better as a man? Oh, you don't. I don't know. You don't have enough shirts. You don't have enough good shirts. You don't dress good enough. Whatever the damn reason may be. Oh, okay. Click. Hang up. We never talk. Or you can decide what you do from there in terms of if you want to talk to a person like that. If a female cheated on me, I probably would not talk to her ever again. Now, the relationships I had, that did not happen. It was a sever of the bond, sort of, but I still talk to my past relationships. So we're still on good terms, which I think is the best way to go. Don't burn your bridges. That's personally what I believe, but you guys do you. But you guys got to understand that you just have to ask. It's not cheating necessarily as she broke your code, unless, and forgive me for anybody who sees this that may be offended, unless she is the type to go around and up her body count randomly. That's a whole different story. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the guy, or not the guy, the female that's with you, you're in a relationship, and, you know, she cheated on you or she broke up with you. There's always a reason, and you need to get those reasons. That's the ultimate goal. It's not, oh, why did you like him? He doesn't matter. If a female cheats on you, and this is why I'm gonna get into why I don't like the term cheating. If a female cheats on you, you need to understand it's not because you were bad or you did something wrong. It is, but it's more of she's trying to tell you, hey, something I see that you don't have, what I think a man should have, you don't have, and you need to upgrade. Females will tell you indirectly what you need to work on. Very indirectly. Like, I remember one of the first relationships I had. A female will be like, why do you do this? Like, why do you do this? Like, stop doing that. You need to look at that. You need to look at yourself, and you need to ask yourself, you know what? Is she saying that I'm doing something wrong to myself? Am I hurting myself in any type of way? Am I not upgrading? Am I not doing something good? You need to ask yourself these questions, because you need to understand she is a gauge to see, okay, is this guy the best guy? Is this the guy, the best kid, the best person for my kids? She is gauging to see if you are the best man for her possible kids. And it's the funny thing, even females who can't literally have kids think about this subconsciously. They are choosing for their family, not for them. I'm not an expert on relationships. I'm not. No one think that, please. I'm not an expert on relationships, but I have gone through a lot of relationships. I have seen a lot of relationships fall. People always come into me, all through high school. Like, people always come to me about their relationships. Women, mostly. Men, too. So it's like I learned so much from other people, and from my relationships, I learned quite a bit. So I'm definitely qualified, I believe, to talk about my experiences in this and give some insight onto people who may not know what to do. And the main thing I want to say is, don't spend your time being sad. That is a waste of time. And that is something I would never, ever have thought of. When I was in a second relationship and she broke up with me, I literally stood there. I was sad in the moment, like it was on the phone. But my situation is a little different because there was an external factor as to why it happened. it was an external factor. Her best friend was a manipulator, and she manipulated her to break up with me. It was very interesting. To this day, we're still cool, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Anyway, I literally stood there at the phone. I'm like, I'm kind of sad, you know, but I'm just listening to her, And right when I hung up the phone, I got on Minecraft. Like, it was just no big deal. For some reason, I kind of saw that it was coming. It was coming. But this is the type of mentality you have to have. Not go on Minecraft. Definitely don't do that. You don't have time to go on Minecraft. If a female ever breaks up with you, definitely don't go to Minecraft. Now, this is when I was like very young. I was 17-ish. I was very young. No, I was 18. 18. Yeah, 18. Because I was playing Fortnite heavy. Anyway. This is the time when you go to the gym. You know, go to the gym. Now, I did not take that approach. I was not smart at all. I was not wise at all. I did not have those experiences at all. I did not have that thinking process at all. But if I were in a relationship right now and that were to happen, not even gonna mention cheating because that would never happen. Breaking up, which I doubt would ever happen. Much happen. I doubt that would ever happen. I'm too good of a guy. I smile, come on, all the time. I'm for your mom, baby. Anyway, if that were to ever happen, you need to just go hit the gym, honestly. And this is an example as to you just need to improve yourself. It's not about she cheated you. And this is why I don't like the term cheated. A female is looking for top guy, the top dog, the top alpha. That's all she's looking for. And when you understand this, you can understand, okay, if I'm in a relationship, and there's a whole bunch of guys trying to have sex with the female I'm with, I gotta make sure I'm in the gym. I gotta make sure I'm doing better. I gotta make sure I'm completing my goals. I gotta make sure I'm learning new skills. I gotta make sure I'm constantly on my grind. This should be enough to motivate you. If you have a girlfriend right now, you need to understand that every guy wants to fuck your female. Every guy. When you really think about that, it makes you think like, holy shit. Every guy is trying to fuck the female I'm with. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is what happens. I bet you. And this is why I don't like the term cheating. It's more of a level up. Like in her mind, it's not, oh, I'm not gonna disrespect my man, or it may be like that in terms of how much you give to a female and how she views you. But if you are in a relationship and you're semi-average, right? Let's say, I'm gonna get very, very, very specific. Very specific. I met a guy, he was fat, 26 years old, still lives with his mom, never had a girlfriend. You can imagine what this guy looks like. Anyway, and if anyone is big, I'm not trying to make you feel better about being big. If you are overweight, it's time to get up and do something about it. And I'm just giving you the hard truth. Okay, I'm not here to make you feel better and say, oh, you're still beautiful. No, you're not. Because I have seen many people say that it's not, okay? And the fact that being overweight may play a factor into why you cannot get relationships, it says a lot about what it means to be overweight, okay? So I'm here to give you the blunt truth. If you are that, you need to make sure the next day you are doing push-ups, sit-ups, you're doing something to improve yourself. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to tell you the blunt truth as to how I see it into my experiences. So please don't come up to me, oh, you hurt my feelings, because people be doing that. Like, I get death threats sometimes. I'm like, whoop. Anyway. Imagine you are a random guy, regular guy, average guy. Nothing's really special about you. And you got a girlfriend, cool. You need to understand that in that moment, when you were there, you were at the right place at the right time, and she chose you as the best man in her world. It's all about her world in that moment. In the first choosing, it's about her world. You have to be the best possible choice in her world. It's not about what Jimmy was doing yesterday. If you appear to be better and a better option than Jimmy yesterday, Jimmy, she's on to you now. This is why you have to make sure you're competent. If you want to be better, understand something. Every guy is trying to fuck your girlfriend. Every guy. And I'm not saying literally every guy, but it's a generalization that I'm saying. You are in a huge competition with other guys. Look at it. If you have a girlfriend, sometimes it doesn't even matter if she's pretty or beautiful or hot. Simply the fact that you are in a relationship with her and she's taken, it makes her more valuable. So other guys are like, damn, I want her. You know, let me have a little fun. I want her. So it may make you a target in the sexual marketplace. It will. It's just the honest truth. It really is the honest truth. I once met a guy who had so many girlfriends. Well, not girlfriends. He had so many females that he just had sex with. And sometimes they had boyfriends. It's just honestly how it is. So this is 100% reason why I'm saying you don't have time to be sad. You don't have time to cry. You don't have time to be stressed out. All you have time for is going to the gym. Oh, wow, she broke up with me. Time to hit the gym. And again, saying going to the gym is just an example as to saying you just need to start improving yourself more. Oh, I already make enough money. Well, now you need to make more. Oh, I already do enough push-ups. Well, now you need to do more. Oh, I already speak enough languages. Now you need to do more. Oh, I already study enough. Oh, now you need to do more. Every time you're in a relationship and some shit like this happens to you, you should use it to propel you. Propel you farther. Not staying stagnant. Never stay stagnant. Never stay static. Never stay still. Always be like water, always flowing. But this water, you have to make sure you're growing. You have to make sure you're growing bigger so that one day you can be a whole tsunami. You got to make sure you're growing. You really do. This is the all to men. All to men. Understand, if you are in a relationship right now, every guy is trying to fuck your girlfriend. Careful. Careful. Well, don't be careful. Just keep grinding. Literally, if all you do is just keep grinding, you don't have to worry about shit. Don't worry about shit. What I found is that drive is so much more attractive than someone who already has it. So, for example, if you're with someone as a female, the female's with you and you're a guy, and you're actively trying and you're working hard to get a six pack, and the female sees it and sees your progress, she will say, oh my God, that is actually more attractive than someone who has a six pack already and isn't trying to pursue that anymore. Drive is so important. And I say this in my other videos. You have to have the drive. I remember one video I did where I used the analogy of a car. If you put a car in neutral, it's moving with gravity. It has no forward momentum. It has no backward momentum. It only has gravity momentum. So it goes wherever life takes it. Oh, it's on an uphill today, so it's gonna go down. Or yeah, it's gonna go down. Oh, it's on a downhill today, so gravity is gonna move it down. But neutral, whether you're going forward or back, it's moving. Only because of gravity. Only because of slopes. Only because of things going up and down. That's the only reason in a car. But if you put the car in drive, it can only go forward. It's the same thing with you. If you constantly have the drive to go forward, you will be like a car that never stops. But what happens with a car too? You're driving down the road, you're on the highway, boom, a whole nail is on the ground, pops your tire. Now you got to take a whole hour out of your day to change a spare tire. It's the same thing with life. If you are driving and you are going forward, trials and tribulations will happen. Oh, someone wants to be a hater today. It's a test from the universe. But I promise you, and it's the same analogy. If you are driving from Florida to Georgia, you have to put your car in drive to get there, right? You will get there. It may take a day, but you will get there. But what's gonna happen along the way? Oh, I gotta get gas. Oh, my tire popped. Oh, I got stopped by the cops. Oh, for some reason, my car is not blowing hot AC. I need to fix it. I need to put some Freon in it. Oh, for some reason, my car is rumbling. Oh, gotta make sure my wheel bearings are tightened. There's gonna be stuff that happens on your flight or on your journey from Florida to Georgia, but you will get there. This is why drive is so important. And when you are in a relationship and the female sees that and it's like, oh my God, okay, the man I'm with, he's getting to Georgia. He's grinding. I'm gonna stay with him. Females want to see the experience. They really want to see you grow. This is what they are here for. They are here to make you a fucking legend. That's it. Everything that happens wrong to you on their part, you must use it to propel you. Okay, Jim. Okay, more knowledge, more skills. Come on, you gotta go. You cannot get broken. You cannot get sad. You cannot start crying. You cannot. Because you have to understand what is going on. It's not that she's trying to break your heart. It's that she is trying to indirectly tell you, hey, you need to level up. This is why females come back when they see you with another female, or you came back stronger. Because when a female sees you with another female, her mind is like, okay, what makes him so valuable? Why is she with him? Because females understand how females think. I'm laying down the sauce here and I didn't expect to. Females know how females think, just like how men know how men think. She's like, okay, well, why is she with him? What's so good about him? You'll get a text. You are more valuable when you are in a relationship as a man. Because that female is like, okay, why is that female with him? What does he have? It's all about who's top guy. This is why you have to always make sure you're competent. Always competent. And especially for the guys in a relationship. You're not grinding to keep her. You're using the fact as to why she's with you to make sure that you are grinding every single day. It's an extraction of energy. Think about that. Once you understand why she's with you, then you can say, okay, I can use this to go to the gym every day. And boom, there's your motivation. You're just farming motivation now. You're farming the energy. And now you have unlimited motivation to go to the gym, become better, get more money, get more skills, become smarter, become more intelligent. Because in her world, you're all that exists. If you are more competent than the other guys that may come into her life, believe it or not, you are the only one in her world that exists. It's crazy. Fucking crazy. As a mate, she'll be loyal. If she's good, she's a good female. Now, I'm not a relationship expert. Like I said, I'm only speaking through my experiences and what I see. Now, for me personally, I'm not in a relationship. And this is for a reason that I am sticking to. Because I cannot work at the same time and nurture a relationship. I believe it's irresponsible. I cannot be the type of person that I am now and constantly trying to be working and try and put time to a relationship. It's just not going to work. I have tried it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me on my work style. So I have to be at a point where I'm like, okay, I can relax a little bit and then be in a relationship. But for you guys, if that's not me, that may not be the case, and that's fine. You guys can do you, but understand that you have been chosen by her and you have accepted because in her world, you were the top guy. She broke up with you. She cheated on you. Good. Gym, grind, money, all these things that make you more better, you need to be on. Don't waste it on being sad. Depression is fake, honestly. If you really look at how your mind works in terms of emotions, emotions fade away. If depression is being sad, sadness fades away. That means your depression fades away. But the only reason why it keeps coming back, or it is real for you, is because you give it more energy. If you keep being sad and you keep trying to be sad, the only thing that you can be is sad. You cannot be happy if you are sad. This is depression. Depression is constant focus to the fleeting sadness you are feeling in this present moment. Because it's eventually going to go away. But that's a whole nother stream. But you got to understand, every single time you are in a relationship, every single time that you go through these experiences, every single time that you get rejected by a female, and this is a good way to get, to notice, I need to become better. What I started to do was, there was a point where I just had to figure it out. Like after a second relationship, what I started to do was I wanted to understand like how to talk, how to be more comfortable around females, how to talk. So I just literally went up to everybody, just get rejected. Sometimes get a little closer, sometimes not. Get rejected here and there. This thing, and life goes on. But in all that practicing and all that training, I call it training. I call it training moments. I started to learn things. And I'm in a position right now where I just want to take that route. Trust me, I have chances. I had chances, but I don't want to do it. But you need to understand that for you, all the men out there, never, ever, 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 ever give a female sadness bullshit. Only grind. Girlfriend broke up with you because you don't have strong enough muscles, whatever the case may be. This is an example. Physicality is always the easiest thing to say because it relates to the most people. You don't have big enough muscles? Okay. Right when you get your answer from her, hang up the phone, delete social media, stop the porn, push up. You guys got work to do. You really just got work to do. It's just work. I mean, it's honestly just a wake-up call, and you just got work to do. So you got to do it. You got to do it. And then later down the line, she'll see you grew up, and she may text you again later. She may. But make sure you know exactly why you're getting into relationships when you get in relationships, because that's important. Now, again, I'm not a relationship expert. I want to make that clear. I'm Noisy Fox by Ivy. I've gone through so many experiences in life, and I'm sharing based on what I know from my experiences. Validate everything I say by doing it in real life. This is one thing people don't do. And a man I knew that I learned so much from called it mental masturbation, where people watch content that's educational or trying to help them or self-improvement, but they don't do it. Do it. Try it. I'm advising you. I'm not telling you to do anything. I am advising you. It is up to you to take the action to try and become better. Because every single word I put out on these streams, and always will be, is to tell the truth on how I see it, and always make sure that the people watching are becoming better. That is the sole thing we are trying to do. We are trying to become better, everyone. Everyone, we are trying to become better. That is it. I am only pushing self-improvement. You should be pushing self-improvement on yourself. If you need something right now to improve yourself, if you're not doing something right now, you need to ask yourself, what can I do to improve myself? You should be doing that the next day. I always like to say start with physicality because it's the most obvious thing to see. Get to it. Get to it. Don't be sad. She broke up with you? Good. I would say fucking thank you. Thank you. What can I do better? Oh, you did this? Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Bye. Boom. Click. On the ground. Push-ups. On the ground. Trying to make... Just something. Base it off what she told you, because she'll tell you, or if she won't, go scroll through the messages. Get your answer. Get your fucking answer, because you want clarity. You don't want to go through a relationship, you get heartbroken or whatever, and she doesn't tell you, and you never know why. You don't want that shit. And they can't tell you sometimes because they literally don't know how to. They don't know how to explain themselves sometimes. So you gotta scroll through the message. You gotta do the work. You just got to. So I hope that gave a lot of people some insight onto what to do based off of what I do. This is how I carry every single rejection. Every single rejection, I ask why. Every single heartbreak, I ask why. Not even gonna mention cheating because that would never happen. But for everybody, I hope it gave you some insight. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Peace!